My Little Girl, written by Cracked Inkwell. Chapter 13 of Honesty, Family. By the time the afternoon rolled around, Lauren was following Applejack and Twilight along with a guard escort through the streets of Canterlot. The reason for this was because Twilight had asked Celestia for special permission to visit her parents since she had been in Canterlot, and perhaps she could visit them and say hello. After all, it had been months since the last time she'd seen them. Lauren tagged along out of curiosity, given that the description of this Twilight's mother would sounded a lot like the older version of Twilight in the show she knew. As for Applejack, the others had already gotten time and a chance to get to know Lauren a little better. She thought that this might be the perfect opportunity to get to know the princess's mother as well. "So, Lauren," Applejack said, trying to start a conversation, "how's Equestria been so far for you?" "I kinda like it. It's a little weird, but I like it." "Weird how?"
"Well, that I'm the only one, except for Spike, that walks on two legs."
"Point taken," she said with a smirk.
"But I do think I'll come back though. And in a place where ponies talk, who wouldn't?"
"Well, what's so unusual about that? You say it's like ponies never talk or something."
"They don't where I come from." It was here that the two elements, and even the guards, stopped in their tracks and gave her a puzzling look. "What? It's true. So, ponies don't talk? At all?" Twilight questioned. "Yeah, and come to think of it, I haven't ever seen a real Pegasus or unicorn until I came here."
"But there are ponies where you come from, right?" Applejack asked.
"Yes, but I usually see them at state fairs where kids ride them, and even then they don't talk."
There was a moment of awkward silence before Twilight requested,
"Remind me to talk about that with you later. But for now, let's keep moving."
A moment later, they started walking again. Lauren asked Applejack,
"Are you from around here?"
"Huh? Oh no, I ain't from around here. I mean, look at me. Do I really look like I'm from around here? Actually, born and raised in Ponyville on my family's farm."
"You work on a farm?"
"As well as running too. We have one of the biggest, if not the biggest, apple orchard in the whole country. Me and my brother and my sister help out with most of the chores and whatnot."
"Where did you say your farm was?"
"Sweet Apple Acres? It's just right next to Ponyville."
"What's Ponyville like?"
"Ponyville? Well, it's a town that ain't too big or too small to live in. The place may look like something out of a postcard with all its rolling homes and hills, but the town always has something going on, and that being that it's a fair or a monster on the loose. It never gets dull there. But Ponyville, as safe as it could be, does tend to have its dangers, like something crawling out of the everfree forest or some super evil villain trying to take over the world. But except for those, it's a nice place to live." As Lauren tried to process what she heard, she watched Applejack walk on, only to stop when she nearly came face-on-face collision with a lamppost before she went around it. "That was close," Applejack said to herself.
"You're definitely not the Applejack I know," Lauren commented.
"What's that supposed to mean?"
"The one in the show is much clumsier, but you're not."
"Clumsy? Me? To tell you the truth, I don't get clumsy very often. Except for a few times though, that I admit. But that's only because I didn't get much sleep, along with not asking for help," she replied sheepishly.
"Why did you do that?"
"Out of pride, I guess. My brother got hurt once right before the harvest, and he told me that it ought to be next to impossible for me to buck all those trees on my own."
"Oh, you mean from that one Applebuck season?" Twilight asked, in which Applejack sighed.
Yup, that's the one. Took on myself more than I could handle, and it costed me a few days of sleep, along with my sanity. Should have asked, but my pride got in the way. Kept telling every pony that I didn't need help, which in a way I knew it wasn't true. Guess things must have changed if I didn't say yes, and I need help, and lots of it.
At least you learned a lesson from it, Twilight pointed out. But now they were on the street where the Sparkle family lived. Applejack, you have met my parents before, haven't you?
Just once. It was from your brother's wedding, if I remember right.
Soon enough, they were at the doorstep where Twilight rang the bell. A moment later, the door opened up to a blue unicorn.
Yes, how may I? Twilight!
Hey, Dad. The first thing either of them did was giving each other a hug and a nuzzle. Twilight's dad soon called out his wife to come to the door. Lauren had to shake her head a few times at what she was seeing. There in the doorway was a pony kind of like the Twilight she knew, only the pink coat she used to see was now gray. Except for that, she looked just like the pony from the show. Twilight's mother repeated the greeting as well as her father, but added, "Applejack, nice for you to stop by, and..." She looked up to Lauren. "Who, and shall I say what, do we have here?" For once, Lauren understood what the word surreal actually meant. There before her was one of the stars of the show that she knew and loved, yet she seemed a whole lot older. She wasn't quite sure what to say exactly, so Twilight stepped in front of her. "Mom, this is Lauren, and a friend of ours. Lauren, this is my mom, Twilight Velvet." So that's what her last name was. Lauren thought. The one called Twilight Velvet turned to her daughter. "What is she exactly?" If you can believe it, human." "Human?" Velvet raised an eyebrow to mutter to herself, Human. Where have I heard that before? Does Megan ring any bells?" Lauren asked. "Or Danny? Or maybe Molly?" "No, I don't think I've heard of those before. But you do seem friendly enough, I suppose." Velvet turned to her daughter. "I was taking a break from writing and fixing some tea. Would you and your friends please come in? It has been a little too long since we've last seen you." And that was Chapter 13, To My Little Girl, written by Cracked Inkwell. Safe to say things are going well now. Lauren has gotten to spend time with each of the main 6 one-on-one. The last one left is Twilight, actually. And she's meeting someone, or rather some pony, she pretty much loves. Twilight Velvet. Only she's not the same as she is in the show that Lauren knows. But as long as things are going well, I don't see a problem. In fact, I think things will go much more fine as the chapters go on, of which there are only 2 left. So we'll see how things turn out. I am Lotus Moon, and I wish to grant you all a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are, every pony. Good night.